Olá, beleza? Eu sou o Sandro Becassis, do site Nave Criativa, e hoje nós vamos assistir uma entrevista que eu e o Sandro Nine, que também escreve para a Nave Criativa, fizemos com o Noel Hoga e a Mell Peck, do Duo The Puro, que estiveram na semana passada em São Paulo, fazendo show de estreia do seu disco Law of Return. Então foi um show muito bacana, que teve uma participação muito grande, e também eles fizeram uns outros desdobramentos também com shows, com pockets ao vivo. E essa entrevista, a gente ouviu os dois e eles contaram muita coisa pra gente, deixamos eles falarem bastante, que é isso que interessa realmente, o conteúdo que eles poderiam passar pra gente. O Noel Hoga e a Mell Peck se conheceram através da internet. O Noel descobriu a Mell, que é brasileira, do Rio Grande do Sul, cantando um cover de Zombie, do The Cranberries, lá no YouTube. A partir daí, ele entrou em contato com ela, começaram a conversar, ela mandou algumas composições para ele musicou essas composições, chamou a Mell para a Irlanda e ela gravou algumas músicas lá também, inclusive em português, e nasceu o projeto The Puro, que na semana passada fez a estreia no Brasil. É uma honra ter o Noel Hoga, o ex-guitarrista e cofundador do The Cranberries, fazendo um projeto de estreia no Brasil como uma brasileira. É a primeira vez, e a gente fala isso na entrevista, talvez na história, que um cantor da língua inglesa dá uma oportunidade tão grande para uma artista brasileira cantar em português. Então você assista a entrevista, que tem bastante conteúdo do Noel Hoga e da Mell Peck falando sobre o projeto The Puro. Eu e Sandro Nine convidamos você a assistir essa entrevista agora. Vai lá!
How does songwriting work? Do you make the harmonies and Mel make the lyrics, or together?
No, the way that we work is pretty much like I worked within the cranberry system. That there I kind of dealt with the music, and Dolores did lyrics and melody, and it's pretty much kind of like this as well. That I work at home, and I send Mel an idea, and then take as long as you like to work on it. Then if you don't like it at all, you know, I would prefer for her to say, but yeah, I kind of, we write separately, but it's the same, you know, on the same thing. And we find for us it works that one isn't looking over the other's shoulder. And then if you send, so I send an idea, sometimes I might have, you know, send back a little clip of kind of a melody and then a very rough vocal, and then she'll say, look, maybe can you make this longer or this shorter, or maybe this instrument isn't working so well, and then like that I'll play a line on a piano, a melody that, you know, for her, I think maybe you could think of this as a vocal and stuff. So between us, we kind of work it out then. At first it's a bit weird because we didn't know each other, and you're worried that you're going to insult the other one. But I mean, we've been doing this over 2 years now, so we're very open with each other about, you know, what needs to be changed, what works, what doesn't work, and you know, we kind of say that to each other. It would be better to be open and kind of get the song right, as opposed to us having something that maybe I don't like a part of it, or Mel didn't. So it works really well. It's been one of the things with, and it's terrible to say, but COVID gave us loads of time to work on this stuff, you know, because we were in lockdown, we couldn't do anything else. So we had that 2 years, almost 2 years of just being able to write with no pressure.
Eu sou o Sandro Nine. No, I am Sandro Nine, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. Como é que foi esse lance de ter essa solicitação do Noel e estava numa de desistir da carreira, cara? Como é que conta pra gente isso?
Que loucura, né? Sim, eu fiquei assim, desde muito nova, eu me apresentava em pubs, eventos, eu vivia disso, né? E fiquei alguns anos só nessa função. Até que chegou um momento em que eu já estava cansada daquilo, né, de tocar ali 4 horas em bar, era cansativo. Chegou um momento que eu casei, engravidei, aí eu parei, dei uma pausa, né? E aí eu fiquei ali fiquei uns 5 anos ainda parada. Aí, um certo dia, eu resolvi voltar a tocar para ver como seria, né? E aí eu me apresentei, não gostei de como eu não me senti bem naquele dia que eu estava cantando. Foi estranho, porque eu fiquei muito tempo parada. E aí eu falei pro meu marido que eu não queria mais saber de música, que eu definitivamente queria parar. No dia seguinte, eu acordei cedo e não sei porquê, eu sempre gostei muito de The Cranberries, né? Mas eu nunca fui aquela pessoa de pesquisar fundo sobre os artistas. Eu sabia o nome da Dolores, mas eu não sabia, né, o nome dos caras ali da banda. E aí, não sei porque nesse dia me deu a curiosidade de pesquisar o nome dos caras e ver no Instagram se eles tinham Instagram. E aí, quando eu fui pesquisar, foi o Noel primeiro, né? E eu vi que o nome seguia.
Nossa.
Aí eu falei, gente, que doido, né?
Caraca, é mesmo.
Aí eu mandei uma mensagem para ele. Ele respondeu logo em seguida, né, que foi dos meus vídeos para eu continuar com. E aí a gente começou a conversar, trocou WhatsApp e foi onde a coisa começou a acontecer, assim. A gente conversou aí durante alguns meses e um certo dia ele perguntou se eu queria tentar escrever alguma coisa, se eu já fazia isso. E aí eu falei, né, para ele me enviar a música. No mesmo dia eu escrevi a letra e no dia seguinte eu enviei para ele gravada, né? Uma primeira gravação teste, assim, né? E aí ele gostou. E aí ele disse que tinha um cara, que é o Ben, que faria uma mixagem, né? Se eu enviaria meu vocal cru para ele. Aí eu gravei em 2 dias e enviei para ele. A partir dali foi assim, ó, música atrás de música, sabe? Aí foi fluindo.
Okay.
Do you feel the influence of the Brazilian music and the compositions of the Mell Peck, or similar the cranberries songs?
I caught a bit of that. Was it something about influence of Brazilian music? Was there in that question?
Yeah.
I think I can only speak for me. I mean, I write, I guess, for kind of what I grew up listening to. It still heavily influences what the way I write, and I guess what I've tried to do, and I'm glad a few people who heard this kind of earlier stuff said it's like a modern version of stuff I've done before, and it's kind of people seem surprised that it's a modern sound. You kind of have to move with the times, I think, a bit, but still maintain your own sound. Look, it's unmistakably me. I know it is. I know I write a certain way, and I've even gone to the point of producing a certain way now that it's me. Why wouldn't it be? So you just try to be better all the time. So I think musically, I'm still very much influenced to what I grew up with, and then I hear kind of stuff, I guess, that sinks in the back of your head now and again. But melody-wise, I'm not sure if Mel has kind of more Brazilian influences, but I do hear a lot of kind of similar styles to what I would have growing up listening to, but listening to the cover versions she's done on YouTube, there's stuff, it's very varied. So I feel like there's a lot of influences there. And she's become great as well at kind of counter melody within her songs, which is something we didn't have in the earlier songs. But as she's progressed, I just find that it's become more complex, and it's great. It's the more I can get to work with, the better. So it's become a lot easier then.
Yeah.
So she might tell you something different now. So.
Mel, o público que, pô, conhece o Noel, o cranberries, agora vocês estão nesse projeto, o público pode esperar, assim, algumas músicas do cranberries nas gigs que vocês vão fazer nesse projeto? Estão pensando em colocar uma música no set list, enfim?
Na verdade, assim, em ao vivo, eu acho que pode rolar, porque é algo que as pessoas gostam, né? E a gente também gosta, né, de tocar e tudo. A gente só não colocaria em uma gravação, ou, né, faria uma releitura, devido a... Assim, tem pessoas que gostam, tem pessoas que vão criticar, e a gente não quer que as pessoas comparem, entendeu? Essa parte é meio complicada. Por isso que a gente tem que se policiar, né, por tocar muito The Cranberries, porque eu e o Noah, a gente tá em um projeto que, na verdade, querendo ou não, as pessoas vão comparar, né?
Sim, exato.
Entendeu? Mas eu amo cantar as músicas, né, do The Cranberries. Mas para não ter essa mistura e as pessoas confundirem as coisas e, né, por enquanto, que a gente ainda tá no início, a gente vai ficar mesmo com as músicas do The Puro, e em um ao vivo vai rolar alguma coisa, The Cranberries.
The first time I heard the Puro, I said, "Whoa, it's amazing."
It's funny, like, it's always hard. It's been a problem I've always had with when you end up listening to parts as you're going to go, is that right? Is that wrong? You kind of double guess yourself, and it's usually years later that you'll hear it and go, actually, that was really good. I don't know what I worried about, you know, because you're so close to it. Like, some songs come together very quickly, and you kind of do them and you're happy with them and you move on. And then others take a long time, and you're never even fully sure when you're releasing it if it's right, you know. And then I find, like, you play the song for the first few weeks non-stop, even though the song is out and there's nothing you can do about it. You're kind of still listening, going, should I have done that, or should I have done this? And but nobody else, like, I listen to other people's songs, like, as a whole, but I listen to our songs as parts. And in time, I know that will fade. It always has. But I mean, there are some nights when I'm in the studio, kind of on my own, listening back when it's near the end of a song, and I do think, this is really good, you know. And I don't mean that in an arrogant kind of way, but it's just a lot of work goes into it, and you kind of feel, that this is what it was all for. There's nothing worse than sitting there at that point and go, I'm not really sure if I like this song anymore, and you've wasted God only knows how long. And it can happen, but we've been lucky so far. And I mean, it's great to see people's reaction to it when you release it. Like, when the first single, Prison, came out, and nobody had any idea what was going to happen, and then just to see this amazing reaction, I mean, that's really satisfying. And you kind of you take that as a win.
Yes, Goodbye is my preferred. Goodbye is my preferred song.
Oh, yeah.
Eu também gosto muito.
Prisão is fantastic. In a few moments, I saw arts of the English language create an opportunity. A Brazilian artist singing in Portuguese.
No, I mean, it's been great, because when Mel sends any ideas in the beginning, it's always in Portuguese.
Yeah.
The only one was Goodbye was always in English. That was never Portuguese. And it's because of Goodbye that I kind of thought, oh, she can sing in English as well. She kind of kept that quiet. So we started to revisit songs then and do the two versions. And it's amazing. It's a lot of work. It's extra work, obviously. more for Mel than me because she's got to go back and redo her vocals again. But it seems to work really well. It's worth putting in the work for it, and it's great to see that the different reaction from fans, especially here in Brazil, where a lot of them really like the English version, funny, because kind of put so much work into both versions. So it's great. And I think when we do it live, Mel is going to switch between English and Portuguese. That's going to be her trick. Yeah.
Noel, how do you see the rock scene in the world today with the digital platforms?
I mean, yeah, look, it's a lot different than that, when I began. It's completely different. But you just kind of go with it and you change with it. And there are ups and downs in it. And I think for me, I've never seen so many bands out touring ever, and I know a lot of that is to do with, coming out of the pandemic and everything. Yeah. But even before that, I felt that bands were back, and it's terrible to say, but like the money from selling records, it isn't what it was, 20 years ago. So bands have to go back and play live. That's where they're making their money. Now, okay, that's whatever. But it's a really good thing for people as well, because bands that were lazy, that wouldn't play live because they didn't have to now. Yeah. Like not every band likes playing live. We always did, and I always did. It's just something I enjoyed doing. So, I mean, we have to be grateful for that, I think, with the digital thing. And I know, like, people will give out, they don't get this and they don't get that. The thing, I guess, the only thing I struggle with a little bit is I come from a kind of an age of, you buy an album and you listen to it from start to finish, and it's a whole piece. It's 12 songs or whatever, and you know all the songs, all the lyrics. And I find with kind of digital, it's more one or two songs, people know. And then if you put an album up on Spotify, people might like two of the songs, and that's all that'll get played. And as much work goes into all those other songs as well, that don't really, you get the hardcore fans that will, but in general, there's a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed. But I think, like we've done kind of singles and EPs so far, and the good thing about that is you're kind of highlighting certain songs. So I think there's a workaround in all of this stuff. Whereas if it was years ago, I think I would have really pushed for an album by now. Let's have it out and out there. Whereas I think doing it this way, it gives the fans time to know each song. So when you play it live, they'll know that was from that EP and that was from that single. And so, you kind of have to work with it. That's it.
Yeah. One more question. I like the I Just Shot John Lennon. No, talk about this song.
This album. What's your favorite song this album?
What's my favorite? Salvation.
Yeah.
Is that an album? I can't remember. Yeah.
A punk rock song.
It's a rock song, It's
my favorite song is I Just Shot John Lennon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I haven't heard that in a long time.
The side is good too. Yeah, Salvation. Yeah, Hollywood is good.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Agora, vocês vão ter novos shows depois deste de São Paulo, new gigs after the gigs of São Paulo.
Yeah, like we've something else live on Friday. It's like a small kind of radio thing we're going to play. That's more of an acoustic thing we're going to do. And then the hope is that next year we can start kind of touring more. But as we have other musicians with us, it'll be more of a fuller band thing, because we're kind of working this as a semi-acoustic kind of thing with backing tracks and that kind of thing. But next year, we'd like to have the kind of full thing and make it big and like the sound big and everything. So yeah, that's what we're hoping for. We can't wait to kind of play live more because we've been in the studio long enough now.
Ok. Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you, Mel.
Prazer
Thank you.
falar com você.
Um prazer nosso também. A gente vai se falar de novo e lá no nosso perfil da Nave Criativa no Instagram. Estamos sempre divulgando, colocando material também do Puro lá também.
Ah, eu conheço, já vi.
Yeah, yes.
Parabéns, Mel. Parabéns.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Good vibes for you.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
Bye-bye. Nice to meet you.